All right, let's talk about the parent guide to conversation. You will never talk so much or repeat yourself so much as you do in this stage. But it is a good thing. Maybe. This is how you help make that shift from parent-child relationship to parent-adult-children relationship. Talk a lot. Don't let them shut the conversation down. Talk about everything: work, relationships, romantic relationships, politics, worldview. Go deep. At some point, they will navigate all these things. So start the conversation now. They've never done this before, so give them the tools they need. I know most of these things need to come through experience, but it helps if your kids at least have an idea of what to do. Not every conversation has to be deep. The other night, a child went up to that child's room after dinner to introvert, get away from everyone to re-energize. I saw the child chilling on the bed, so I went over as a joke and sat there with the child. We just started talking, nothing deep. Then the child started telling me about work stuff and things that were happening there. I made myself available, and the child took the initiative to talk to me. It doesn't always work this way, but I think we need to find opportunities to make ourselves available, start silly conversations, have deep conversations, and just find time to talk to each other. Yes, it can be frustrating, but remember, you are the mature one. All right, let's talk about responsibility. Because the only way our kids are going to launch well is by giving them responsibility. Because that is adult life. You don't want to dump everything on them as soon as you launch them. So give them incremental responsibility. Here are some things that we've given responsibility to our kids over time. Chores around the house, cooking dinner once a week, completing schoolwork like dual enrollment, looking for and applying to jobs, creating their resumes. Now we may encourage them in a direction, but ultimately it is on them to apply for a job, because car insurance is really expensive. They can't get a driver's license if they can't pay insurance, and that is another responsibility they have: paying their own bills, insurance, phone, haircuts, food, clothes, and any extras they want. Now, when it comes to the food, because I know some of you are probably thinking, like, what, they have to pay for their own food? This is food that they want for, to make their own lunches. We reached a point where one of the kids looked at my husband and was like, well, Mom doesn't stock the refrigerator for me. So it was at that point, it's like, you are old enough to, if you want something, you need to go get your own food. So, and again, this is what works for us. You may find that this is a great idea, but the execution of the idea looks different for you. The important thing is to give our kids responsibility so they can own it, which teaches them self-discipline, and they discover that they can do it, which builds their confidence. When they get success on their own, it increases their confidence. So it is important for pre-adults to know that they can do things on their own. So your kids may be adults, but if they are living at home, then they will need to follow your rules. Now, the rules shouldn't be the same as your 11-year-old, but you can still give them a curfew, chores, and certain expectations for behavior. These are all reasonable because they still get the privilege of living at home. And I get it, housing is expensive, so if they want to work and save money, they may need a buffer of living at home for a while. So here's our parent guide and what we do. And again, this may or may not work for you in execution, but it gives you an idea or at least a general framework on where to start. Since they work, they also contribute to the grocery bill because that is expensive too. They need to let us know where they are at, not to helicopter parent them, but for safety, so we know when to expect them home. They have a curfew because there are other kids in the home, and we have to work in the morning, and my husband and I get up very early, so they have to be home at a certain time. They live here rent-free for the most part, and so they still do household chores and cook dinner. They are part of the household, so they need to contribute. At this point, we haven't approached rent yet because attending college gets them out of paying rent, but it will be approached soon. I do want them to be able to build a nest egg or save to buy a home, so if they come up with an actionable plan to do this, then rent will be reduced. The one thing they can't do is live at home and be lazy. There needs to be an achievable, time-constrained plan. Parenting through the launch is hard, no doubt about it, but it's also transformative. As your kids step into their adult lives, you get to walk beside them in a brand new way. Still full of love, but with open hands. So give yourself grace and know this, you're not alone and you're doing a beautiful job navigating the mess and magic of the season. This stage feels hard because it is hard. Going from child to adult is one of the biggest milestones we will encounter. Remember, you are the mature one, and you need to set your kids up for success. This parent guide is all about handling the launch into adulthood. What advice would you give to other moms? And let me know in the comments below. So that is a wrap for this episode. And I'm so glad you joined me today. Be sure to check out lifeunboxed.blog, and I will see you next time.